are you guys doing today? My name is Anima, and today we have a post-commentated Pokemon Exu and the Wi-Fi battle. That was really confusing to say because I was waifu and then Wi-Fi, so it was very much a jumble of words indeed against Rygoken, whom I encountered on Twitter. So hello Rygoken, thank you very much for the battle. This is an OU tier match, as you can see from the Pokemon there. Melodic isn't OU, I don't think, but like whatever. We we just bring a bunch of OU stuff, man. It's predominantly OU, so like, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just hit play before I embarrass myself. Oh yeah, I better just tell you what I've got, even though you can see it on screen. We've got a Scrotum, we've got a Kyurem B, Greninja, Caesar, good lord, Toxicroak, and Landorus. My opponent is bringing Espeon, Scyther, Caesar, good grief. Need to brush up on this commentary situation. A Mandibuzz, Garchomp, Melodic, and a Charizard, which is revealed to be a Charizard Exu. Now, let's hit play, and I want you guys to sit back and enjoy the show. Embrace it, cherish it, love it. I do like the dark skin with the green eyes and the blonde hair. I think that is very cool indeed. So I decided to lead with my Scrotum. Very original lead, I know, yes, the Scrotum. And I kind of had this weird feeling my opponent was going to lead with the Charizard, which is why I decided to lead with the Rotom. And it turns out it is a Charizard Exu. I was kind of hoping it was a Y, and I guessed it was a Y from Team Preview, but I was wrong. So my intent was just to go straight for the Volt Switch anyway, so that's precisely what I did, as my opponent goes for the DD! And this is okay. This is okay because I do have my Landorus in the background, who is pretty much just like a cool dude, and will be able to deal with this thing, intimidate it, so on and so forth. So we do get that Volt to switch you off and go into the Landorus, which I really want to nickname. I wouldn't know what I'd call it anyway, but I can't nickname it, it really pains me. So scared out by the Earthquake, my opponent switches out into Ariel, who is going to be the Melodic. Wonderful name indeed. Ariel, the little mermaid. I see you, dude, I see you right there. And this Earthquake does a lot of damage, it really does. I did not expect that, but my guess here is that my opponent is especially defensive, holding the Flame Orb to set off Melodic's Marvel Scale ability and thus boost its defense, making it fairly impenetrable. So I did decide to switch out my Landorus, just kind of trying to bluff that I was Scarfed. I thought that maybe I could have taken it out, but didn't want to take the risk of it going for Scald or Ice Beam or so on. And anticipating either of those things, I do go out into Slim Jim. Now, at this point, I thought maybe they could go for Ice Beam or something like that, so I went for the Scald, and my thinking here was to go for Scald to A, resist any potential Ice Beam, and B, not do enough damage to motivate my opponent to switch. Because I do have the Grass Knot, and if my opponent thought that I didn't have the Grass Knot, he'd be motivated to leave the Melodic in. But I do get Toxic, and I don't really mind that much because Greninja is very zippy and isn't supposed to be in there for very long anyway, so that's okay. And thankfully this plan is put into motion and it does work. My opponent does stay in, not motivated to switch out because of the quite healthy amount of HP that he still had, and the Grass Knot is enough to take it down, so that's very good. I was extremely happy to have Melodic down so early on because I know that thing can be a pain in the anus. It can be a pain in the rectal area, a pain in the bottom, if you will. I don't know how many more times I can say the word bum in a different way. But out comes Red X, which is a Teen Titans reference. I believe I used to watch that show a lot. I used to watch that show, oh yes I did indeed. But I did decide to go out into Cupcake to resist the incoming Bullet Punch. That's a quad resist, I believe, Fire Electric, which is extremely nice. And I'm able to get to my lefty's back, so this is a very good matchup for me, obviously. And extremely not a good matchup for my opponent, so he does switch out, bringing out the Barbie, which is going to be the Mandibuzz, as I go for the Volt Switch, anticipating the switch out. Honestly, it's not like it was a genius maneuver on my part. Could have gone for the Willow, but yeah, this way I get initiative on the Mandibuzz, and it did good damage. The Garchomp was a potential thing, but I didn't think he'd want to bring it in on my Scrotum, because most things don't want to be brushed up against a Scrotum. It depends on where your leniences lie. I don't judge. But no, it wouldn't have been a good decision for him anyway, because it couldn't really do anything to me because of the Levitate. And I bring out Based Kyurem, who has the Ice Beam. Even though I'm physically invested in a Scarf, I have the Ice Beam just for situations like that, and I knew I could do a good amount of damage to the Mandibuzz because I have fought a Mandibuzz one-on-one with Kyurem and stalled it out of Roost and managed to beat it eventually. As we were the last Pokemon there. So I do go for the Ice Beam and destroy the Mandibuzz, which is very nice, and bring in my Cupcake. I don't know where all these accents are coming from at the moment. And basically my oven is going to be fine against the Caesar, as my opponent makes a good prediction and goes straight for the U-turn. which is very good, anticipating my little oven to come out. And Igneel is here, which is also a cool name, goes for the Dragon Claw, and Cupcake takes that. You see that? You see that? You see how well that my goddamn oven can take that? That's just crazy, right? But I went for the Volt Switch, just kind of thinking that I could take at least one of whatever this thing does. And if he goes for the Dragon Dance, then my oven will be like unscathed and stuff, so I thought that's pretty cool. I got into my Landorus and get the Intimidate off, which is very nice. It can't really do much to me, so I do decide to go for the EQ on the red X that switches in, and this is going to do a very good chunk of damage, indubitably indeed. It's a 2 KO, which motivates me to stay in as my opponent goes for the BP, and it does a crap load of damage. An absolute crap load, a load of crap. You heard me, absolutely horrendous amount. Really, truly a large amount. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to stop chatting shit now, and go for that second Earthquake, which is extremely nice. I have revealed my lefties, so I am not scarfed indeed. Ha 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 ha. And my opponent goes out into Psy. Now, at this point, I decide I'm just going to sack my Landorus here because nobody wants to switch into a Psychic, really. I knew Caesar could. Caesar could indeed switch into the Psychic and kind of be fine, but I'm not about that life. So I do decide to go into Slim Jim, the slimmest of gyms, and go straight for the Dark Pulse as my opponent decides to bring out Igneel, perhaps thinking that it could take it, or maybe predicting a different move, but Greninja is just broken, honestly, it is just truly broken, and you can see how much damage that just shreds through the Charizard X, which is very, oh my god. It was a real relief to have that thing out of the way, because if it had some Dragon Dances up, it could have definitely beaten my Kyurem, which is my end game sweepery thing. Now, out comes Gillette, the Garchomp, and this is where things get a bit hairy because it goes for the Outrage. I decided to leave Slim Jim in just to scout for the Scarf, and as you can see, it does clean out Speed Slim Jim, and Slim Jim goes down. But that's okay, it's valuable information to have the Scarfo as a thing, to know that that's going to happen, to know that's going to occur. And I know he's locked into Outrage, so my Caesar is going to be completely fine. We're max HP and max Bidoof. And Caesar's natural defenses are just cray-cray, bananas, in my opinion. Go for the Bullet Punch just to get some damage off on this thing. And it does a decent amount, considering I'm not invested in attack. But the Rough Skin is going to go off, of course. And the Stone Edge, spoilers! The next Outrage is going to hit. And I was actually hoping for my opponent to get the 3-turn Outrage here. I thought that would have been pretty cool, as I would have been able to get off another Bullet Punch and help myself out. But here I predicted the out switch into the Espeon, so I did decide to go for the U-turn. Not that crazy a prediction, to be honest, because my opponent probably just didn't want to chance the... wasn't doing any damage with the Outrages, really, so he kind of had to switch out here. So I do decide to U-turn and go back into, I believe, my oven. Yes, my oven, my little Cupcake. Yes, out comes Cupcake. And this is like, this is cool, this is fine. I actually have Hidden Power Ice on this thing. So, like what I was talking about earlier, Cupcake is my defensible, but also can kill Garchomps pretty fine. So it's like not a big a deal. I can also disable them as well as hurt them really hard. So my opponent chooses to lock himself into Stone Edge, and this is actually a really, really good maneuver on his part, because Stone Edge would do a lot of damage to everything. And if he'd gone for the EQ, it wouldn't kill. If he'd gone for the Outrage, I still had Caesar. So Stone Edge was honestly the best way to go. So a very good choice on his behalf. And he goes for the Stone Edge, and I was just praying this wasn't going to kill, but I thought it's not stab, and I'm at max health, so I thought I would live that just fine, and I'm able to get off this Outrage. And there is no way in hell it's going to live that, and it takes it out. So down goes Gillette. That was an incredibly fast-paced battle. Gonna get hit by the little rough skin damage there, and that is gonna be the game. So thank you very much, Rygoken. That was a really cool battle. Lots of Pokemon just got shredded towards the end, just like down to the Garchomp, just basically put in a blender. and yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was very interesting. But yes, guys, if you liked this battle, if you enjoyed it, if you thought it was cool, then feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. If you are so inclined, answer the QOT duh, which is gonna be, what are your hobbies aside from Pokemon, of course? And maybe you don't even play Pokemon, maybe you just kind of like it. In which case, then I'd be interested to hear what kinds of hobbies people are into, because for me, I'm into, well, obviously, like, video games and stuff, really like Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, and so on and so forth. I really like drawing. Drawing's kind of like a big thing, I've always done it. And I like writing a lot as well, to be honest. I do, but you're never gonna read any of the stuff I've written. I'm kidding, you read a lot of comments and stuff from me every day. Oh, that counts as writing, right? But yes, guys, if you enjoyed that battle, please feel free to leave a like. I would super appreciate that, and your support has been absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate it. Answer the QOT, duh, and subscribe if you haven't already, because it would be a fucking delight to have you on board. You heard me, it was a complete delight to have you on board. But of course, as usual, you don't have to do any of these things. In fact, the most important thing of all is for you to take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye bye.